Hayden Christensen. That name will mean something to you if you are a fan of Star Wars. He will be known forever as the man who completely botched Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker. He wasn't entirely to blame for this, because when he did evil stuff and when he, just did stuff that was evil and didn't say anything, he came across as quite menacing, but he had to open his goddamn mouth. Well, according to me, the Jedis are evil. Ugh. Nobody could have pulled that one off. I don't think so, at least. However, seeing Jumper, I think it is the only movie I have seen with Hayden Christensen except for his run as Anakin Skywalker. I think that it is clear that he wasn't that good of an actor either. We're gonna take a look today at the movie Jumper. David Rice is a teenager living in Michigan. He's a bit bullied. By the way, is Rice Bowl really an insult? Or is it just because his last name is Rice? Beats me. He has a slightly abusive dad who is drunk and he never knew who his mom was. And one day, after some bullying, he falls through the ice and wakes up in the library. He has found out that he has the ability to jump from one place to another. He basically has the same powers as Nightcrawler from the X-Men films, minus the fact that he doesn't have to see where he's going to, move. Discovering this amazing power, he does the only rational thing he can think about. Start robbing banks, run away from home, and surfing in Fiji, lazing around on the top of the Sphinx and doing other slightly douchey stuff. And this goes on for a while, but he has never forgotten his the girl he had a crush on in high school, and decides that he's probably going to be able to swipe her off her feet, by taking her to Rome and stuff like that. But the carefree days of jumping for good old David, however, comes to a bit of an end when he runs into the Templars. The Templars are a bunch of people that has decided that people who can jump are evil and they are an abomination to God and therefore must be destroyed. And David is on the radar of one Roland, played by Samuel L. Jackson. And now he has to face this new threat. He also meets another jumper played by Jamie Bell, and whose entire family was wiped out by the Templars. And now they have to, do stuff to not get killed or something like that. How do they combat the Templars? This movie carries a ton of baggage, I say. The first problem with this movie is Hayden Christensen himself. He comes across as so unlikable that it is almost impossible to have any sympathy for him and impossible to latch onto him. Samuel L. Jackson is so dull and so uninteresting that I figured this was one of these doing a movie for a paycheck kind of a thing. You have a boring villain and a hero you don't sympathize with at all. That's a very bad cocktail. You really sympathize with Jamie Bell, who should have been your main character but isn't. He is basically the the friend who has quote unquote bad ideas. This is a big problem for this movie. Another huge problem this movie has is the fact that the rules of jumping and the limitations of jumping and the ability of the power and stuff like that shifts all the time, and sometimes rules aren't important, and sometimes nope, you can't do this because of so and so rule that we didn't know existed. This creates a huge problem. Sometimes you have no idea what's going on. It is also edited by some guy with this syndrome. and you have no idea what's going on, and you have no idea who's doing what to who. There is also the problem is that this movie is very short, which makes me feel that this movie had a lot more going on for itself. It had a lot of sequences that were left on the cutting room floor, which makes parts of the movie very confusing, and there's a lot of stuff that doesn't make any sense, and also the fact that there are parts that goes nowhere and means nothing. And Jamie Bell and Diane Lane is the only people I really like, but Jamie Bell is sidelined, and Diane Lane shows up for barely a cup of coffee along with a rather uninteresting cameo, which sets up the sequel that never came. Jumper has good things too. It is not a bad movie, but it is so hampered by the lame acting with bad characters, and it is sad because the concept is very interesting. It is visually pretty spectacular, and it has a lot of tension to itself in pockets of sequences, and I don't like the ending. This is a movie that looked good on paper but couldn't deliver what it originally set out to do. The script is pretty bad actually. Most lines in the script is lame, the rest is bad, and it is awkwardly delivered by everybody, including what is perhaps Samuel L. Jackson's least good film role he has ever done. I don't really have anything good to say about this movie, but it's still fascinating, it is still interesting, and it is entertaining in bits, and it is over pretty fast, so the pain doesn't have to last too long. I'm giving this movie 34 points. Jamie Bell is still so great that he at least makes a large portion of it bearable, but it's not a movie I'm really, going to see in the future anyway. It was good for one show. Yes, so see you next time from So and So reviewing, well, such and such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much. And as we all know, it will end with a jump in a movie called Jumper. I like that.